Here's a trick that involves a spectator picking a card in the fairest way possible. It does use just a regular deck of playing cards, and you can even give the cards a shuffle if you wish. Now remember, the spectator is going to choose one of these cards from the pack, and in fact we're going to make it as freely a chosen card as possible. The pack is there. Now you're probably wondering what this is here. Well, it's a wallet that contains a prediction. In fact, it's a prediction I've been waiting to use for many years. If I show you in here, you can see that it has just one card and one card only, which is pretty old. And I'm going to leave that in here. The other side is going to hold your chosen card, but we'll come to that in a moment. To make this as free as possible, I'm going to spread the entire pack. The cards have been shuffled. What I want you to do is just, with your hand, go along here and go roughly about halfway. Doesn't have to be exact, just halfway, and scoop the cards to one side. You're happy there? Push those across. Let me just get rid of these cards here, okay, and we'll put these to one side. Now the cards here, I'm going to scoop them across here. I want you to do the same. Put your hand down, and you can either scoop them left or right. It's up to you. So the spectator brings their hand down, and they can go left or right. Whichever one they push across, they're going to keep. So we get rid of these. I do it again. Spread the cards. Once again, push it down. Whichever way you push is the cards that you're going to keep, and they come down and they can go left or right, and they want to keep these. Do you want to change your mind? You can have these if you want. No, we'll get rid of those. We're getting less and less cards now. Down, and do you want to go left or right? Whichever way you scoop, you're going to keep those cards. Bear that in mind. You want to keep these ones, not these. Are you sure? Remember, you had the choice. We get rid of those. We're down to 3 cards. Put your hand in the middle. Do you want the one on the left or the right? It's entirely up to you. You can have either one of these. Scoop left or right. So you want to eliminate these 2 cards. Yeah. Now I think you'll agree, and what we'll do is, we're going to put your card in here out of the way, and in fact I don't want you to see it just yet, so I'm actually going to put it in here without showing you the face just yet, okay, and we'll close that up. Remember, you did have a free choice of any of the cards. It couldn't have been freer than that. Let's take a look at the card that you did select. The 7 of clubs. That was an absolute free choice out of the pack. My prediction card, which as you can tell from the age of the card has been there for many years. Have I finally got my mind reading skills in tune? Because if we take this out, it is only one card and one card only, and the card I have is the 7 of clubs. Here's the tutorial for that particular prediction effect, which I think is quite an impressive one to the layperson. You need some cards, and I go through those because they're special cards. You need either one of these commercially available wallets. You can buy these, or you can make up something similar yourself with a little bit of printing, and I'll go into that in just a moment. First of all, let's have a look at the pack. Now you can see they're a red backed pack. Now that's of contrasting colour to my prediction card, and you can use a regular blue back card, or it's just got to be a different colour, a contrasting colour to the deck you're using. But these are red. Now when I flip them over, you can see that they are regular, or maybe not, because if I carry on going, oh dear, what do we have here? There you can see I've got a pack of blanked face playing cards. Once again, if you're into your magic, you can buy decks like this, check out eBay or online, search for blank-faced bicycle cards. You'll see there's lots of dealers that do sell these. Now, although they're not cheap, but it's worth buying a pack because you can just keep them in your magic case and use them whenever you want to do a little effect using blank face cards. So it is worth purchasing these. Now you'll notice I haven't got a full deck. I've got about 2/3 of a deck in blanks. I then take 1/3 of the cards. See, you only need a few just to convince the audience that the whole deck is regular. And you can just drop these on the face. Now you'll notice when I introduce them, I can show a few of the cards. You can also shuffle the cards, because if I shuffle all of the blanks, just regular, then when I get somewhere near the 2/3 of the way through, I start to pull the cards off one at a time, and then I can just drop the rest on top. All I've done, if you look here, is I've just transferred all of the regular cards to the top. You can then perform the shuffle once again. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about getting it perfect when you're shuffling, and certainly once you've gone past all the regular ones, you can just do a messy shuffle with all the blanks. So the top half of this pack is all blanks. Well, more than the top half. The bottom half are regular. And again, you can convince the audience by saying, look, you're going to choose one of these cards, but in the most random way possible. So let's do that first of all. You spread the cards. You ask them to drop down. Now I know that all of these here are blank faced. In fact, probably to about here. So when you ask the spectator to go as roughly about halfway, they might get it a little bit wrong, depending on their judgment, but it doesn't matter, okay? If they go there, you say, scoop your hand. You know these are blank, so you want them to keep those. I want you to scoop those and keep those cards there. Now they scoop those, and you get rid of these. What I do, as I'm squaring these up, I just turn them over so they can see a face. I don't make a big deal of it, and I put those face down to one side. Now all of these are blank, okay, all of them are blank. Now let me just cover an extreme occurrence. This shouldn't happen, but let's say that you had someone really awkward and they went there. Now in your head, you're not sure whether or not all of these are blank. So let me do this. Yeah, let's say they did that. Now because I can see there's so few cards here, I get rid of these. Now at this point, I will spread the cards the same way again. Now because in my mind, I'm pretty sure that these aren't blank at the end here. In fact, there's one odd card on there. What I would do is spread them and say, do about half again and do the same. Now this time you get rid of these, you've definitely got rid of that. Okay, you can just drop that on there. From now on, you can play this anyhow you like. You can convince them that they have a free choice, because now when you spread the cards either way and they go down, you say, I'll tell you what, you choose which half you want to keep. And it doesn't matter. And you do this process of elimination until eventually you get to a few cards and then their chosen card. Now once they've got their chosen card, what I would do is then put it into the wallet, and we'll come to that in a moment. Once you've put that in the wallet, you can then turn to the cards and say, look, you have to agree, and as you turn this over, you know all the bottom ones are regular. You can go through a few of them, not too many, but just go through and say, look, you had an absolute free choice. I didn't even handle the cards. We spread them, they were shuffled, you chose right down to the final card. It really is a way of convincing the audience that they got a 100% free choice because you weren't handling the cards and giving them cards. You can use this in other effects as well, narrowing it down. I know a lot of magicians use this over the years to eliminate cards to get down to one, and it works very well. So that's done with. Let's come to the second part of the trick. So that's the first part of forcing the blank card onto the audience. So we know that's blank. Now you're probably ahead of me because you probably know or own one of these. But don't worry if you don't, you can make this. This has got two clear pockets in it. Okay, let me show you what happens. If I push this card into this side, yeah, into the pocket, there's nothing at all. Watch what happens when I push it into this side. Yeah, you can see that. What they've done is this has printed on it the 7 of clubs. In black, because there's a black background, you can't see it until you put a card in there. So that's how the whole trick works. Remember, this card here with a contrasting back colour, your prediction, your premonition is already in this side. So as I said, once you've forced this card, what I tend to do is I say, look, I'm going to put this card in here, and I just put it there just so you see the contrast in the prediction and their card, and I just close it. I don't put it in the pocket, I just rest it on there and just close it up, and I say we'll put this in here. I tell you what, I then open it again and say I'm going to put it with the face outwards. All I'm doing is I'm turning this towards the audience. They still haven't seen the face of this, and you're going to slip it in here. So this is what they don't see. When I slip it in there, I push it in, it's all done, and I close it. Now I deliberately give it a flash. I'm not really worried. I just say, look, we'll come to that in a moment. On there, you just put that to one side, and then that's when you come over here and say you could have had any of these. You're killing a bit of time here. Okay, you then come to this, you open it up and say, look, your card happened to be the 7 of clubs, my prediction card, and when you pull this out and turn it over and it's the same card, it looks as though an absolute miracle has happened. If you don't own one of these wallets, then if you look back on one of our earlier videos, and I'll put a link below this, and I might even put it at the very end, you could print your own cards. If you've got some blank face playing cards, then you could get yourself some of this. This is the, if I can get that without the light flashing on it, the clear film, self-adhesive. Once you've printed it on here, you can stick this onto a clear piece of acetate, or maybe make up a small envelope with a little window in it, cut a little square window, stick this over it on a piece of cellophane, and then you've got your own little wallet where when you push the card in, the card shows through the window. Some sort of idea like that. Alternatively, as I said, you can purchase these wallets very cheaply on there as part of a magic trick. Have fun with that. Till next time, practice and enjoy.